Hi everyone and welcome back. When it comes to looking for land in terms of the location, in Malaysia here, some investors will prefer the northern region, like in Perak, Kedah and Penang. Some investors will prefer the central region in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur area. And some investors will prefer the southern region, like in Malacca, Negeri Sembilan and Johor. So before we continue, hit the like button below and subscribe to this channel. So when it comes to land investing, there are 4 categories of land zoning: agricultural zoning, residential zoning, commercial zoning, and industrial zoning. And to know more about zoning, I'll put the links above and below, where I did another video previously about how to find the land zoning. So you see, when it comes to investing, whether it's for residential property, commercial property, industrial property, and land, each have their own set of criteria to fulfill. So for land investors, generally these are the frequently asked questions. And if you're thinking of getting into land investing or starting a land plantation, these are some basic FAQs that you like to take note as well. Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, generally and firstly, the client will ask whether the land is freehold or leasehold. Is the distance from the main road. So of course, if the land is next to the main road, the better it is for transportation, logistics and security. If the land is deep inside, that means the land is not next to the main road. Whether the land is like 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers or more from the main road to the site, they want to know the access from the main road to the site itself, whether there's an access road or reserve road, the land terrain, whether the land has flat land or whether the land is slightly undulating or the land is hilly type, because the terrain of the land will affect what type of plantations and plants and crops that can be planted on the land. So if the land is flat, that means crops like chili, cucumber, timun and other cash crops can be planted on the flat land. Then if the land is like undulating or hilly, it also depends on the gradient of the slopiness, whether it's like 30 degrees, 45 degrees or 90 degrees. The degree on the slopiness will affect what type of plants that is planted on the land. So for undulating and hilly type of land, trees like durian trees, rubber trees, oil palm trees, generally they are planted on this type of land. What is currently planted on the land? So some land is currently empty and some land they already have some form of plants planted. It can be old durian trees or old oil palm or old rubber trees. If the land is empty in the sense that the land is completely empty or the land only has jungle trees, basically all they need to do is just plant new crops on the land or remove the jungle trees. If the land currently has plants, whether it's rubber trees or oil palm trees or durian trees, then they'll take into consideration the age of the trees and whether they need to replant or remove the trees and plant new trees on the land, the water source. Generally, investors would like to know the nearest water source. Of course, on the land itself, the better it is. And water source I mean by lake or pond, natural or man-made, stream or river, or water plant like Air Selangor. Because for water, the investor will need to think about the irrigation system, how to pump the water from the land itself or from other lands nearby with other owners' electricity source. So investors will need to know the nearest electricity source. If there's no electricity source, then they'll need to rent or get a generator to power the electricity on site. If there's a nearby electricity source, then they'll need to know about like the electricity pole, high tension tower and nearest power station. These will affect the costing to extract the source, whether it's water or electricity, to the site, the number of owners and titles. So the land may be a big land, but there are so many titles and so many owners. So I understand why some buyers they ask this question, and I think this is to help them to understand and to prepare for the complexity of the transaction, because more owners and more heads involved and more decision making when it comes to finalizing the transaction. And more plots and more titles, that means higher cost to acquire the land. So in some cases, let's say the land is 500 acres, that 500 acres may only be in one title or made up of a few titles to make up 500 acres. So there may be a 10 acre, 100 acre, 20 acre, 50 acres, 200 acres and so forth to make up the 500 acres. Sometimes the land may be small, but there's only one owner or a few different owners, or sometimes the land may be big, but there's only one owner and one title, or there are so many pieces of land to make up the big piece of land, and in each title there may be only one owner or a few owners in each title. So these are some basic FAQs. Of course, it can get deeper. Some investors will want to know and ask about the boundary of the land, the security, and the returns or investment potential on the land. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from today. Don't forget to share it, like this video, and subscribe to this channel below to stay tuned for more real estate, investing, finance, and home tips.